first time doing a Google Hangout. I thought I had done it previously. As a matter of fact, 10 minutes ago, I thought I went through the demo and that didn't work out so well. So let's try it again. I don't see that anyone else is here live. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the demo for the tab tables, and then I'll see if anyone has any questions. I'll answer questions. Otherwise, I will just record the video and put it up on YouTube so that anyone who needs to refer to it later can do so. All right, so let me come over and share my screen to that functionality. All right, so I'm going to back up a few things because I had previously gone through and ran the demo. So let me just go back to the beginning to where it will be when you come into it. Okay, so this is assignment 6. I'm going to demonstrate the tab table with tab leaders. Now this part down here, this is what our goal is. That's what we're trying to get at. And I just included that in there so we can see how well we're getting close to it. When you're working on your document, what you'll see is that you've got these lines here that we want to format into a table without using this table functionality. So Word has a table functionality, but we're not doing that. We're doing this purely with the tab features. All right, before we get started, you want to make sure that you can see the ruler on your page. If you don't see the ruler up here, what you want to do is go to View and make sure that in Show on the View tab, the ruler is clicked. Okay, that's critical to get this going. All right, so if you've got that, you can come back to the Home tab. The other thing I want you to notice is over here in the left corner, this is the way to indicate which tab setting we're currently using. Okay, if you come over here, upside down T means a center tab. And then if you click right inside that little square, that's going to be a right justified tab. Here's going to keep clicking until we get one that looks like an L, and that's a left tab. Okay. So what we want to do is you want to only make changes to this table. So we're going to highlight the table. Oops. Highlight the rows of the table. All right. And then to set a tab, if we've got our tab setting right here to the type of tab we want, all we need to do to set the tab is come up into the top ruler and click there at the location where we want our tab stops to be. So the instructions in the lab say that you should set one at the 2-inch mark. Oh, I'm sorry. Before it says that, it wants you to move this over to indent it to the 1-inch mark. All right, then set tabs at the 2-inch mark. Notice that when I'm going to click the 3-inch mark, you should see that the data below moves a little bit. And the 4.5-inch mark. If you're not at just the right place, it won't show up. But once you should see the little L corner shaped tabs up at those positions. Now, if by chance you hit a tab that's incorrect, like here I have one at 4.25, you can put your cursor right to where the tab stop is, click and drag that tab off of the ruler, and then it'll disappear. Okay, so we've set left tabs for all of those. Now later in the directions it tells you that it wants to set the top row to have centered tabs. All right, so in the top row we're going to get rid of the 2-inch tab. We can individually get rid of each one, or if you double click, the tab window will open and you can clear all there. So 2 ways to do. So I lost all my tab stops, so these are just separated by their normal tabs, the default tab. All right, so we want to change this to the center tab. So we'll move it over here until we get the upside down T and it says center tab. And then the instructions in the lab manual say to set a tab stop at 1.25, 2.25, 3.25, and 4.5. Now notice that they all moved except for date. Date didn't move because there wasn't a tab there. If you hit the tab, it'll have it move over. Now that's an important thing is you do not want to add any spaces in between any of the text in these 3 lines, because if you do, then the tab stops will not work properly, especially when we get to using the tab leaders. Okay, so we've got the first row is set up with a different set of tabs. Once again, that's got tabs at 1.25, 2.25, 3.25. Oh, I'm sorry, this one should be at 5. Notice how I could just grab it and drag it over to its new position. Okay, so 3 up, and 3.25 should actually be 3.5. You move that over. And once again, if you double click on one of these tabs, you should see I have a tab at 1.25, 2.25, 3.5, and 5. Okay, so that's all right. Now the bottom tabs, we're going to add in the tab leaders at this point. So I highlight the bottom 3 rows of the table. I come over to one of my tabs up here. Once it says left tab, then I'm going to go ahead and double click on it. Here's where I've got 3, 2, 3, and 4.5. Okay, so they're all left. I can double check left, left, left. All right, now this bottom part here where it says leader, this is where we're going to set the tab leaders, and we have to do these individually. So they're all set at none right now. I'm going to start off at 2. I'm going to change it to this leader type 3 and set it. Then I'm going to go to tab stop position number 3, come down to the leader, set it to leader number 3, set. Go to tab stop position 4.5, come over to leader number 3, once again set. Now notice there's no change. Unlike previously, we saw the changes right away. When you're working inside the tab window, go ahead and click OK, and then the changes will show up. And there you have it. You've got your tab leaders. Stop sharing the screen and come back to see if there are any questions. I do not see, let me see, questions, QA. No questions. Okay, that went a lot quicker than the 30 minutes I allocated for the video. So I'm just going to sign off now. I'm going to go ahead and upload this up to YouTube so that you can refer to it later if you have any trouble, and I'll place the link in the announcements of Blackboard. Thanks. Have a good, oh, wait a minute, one question, one thing I forgot to tell you. Assignment 7 is listed on the schedule for this week. It's not due this week. Assignment 7 is very long, and I really need you to get started with it as soon as possible. It takes longer than any of the other assignments. Even in a normal 16-week semester, it's difficult to try to get all of assignment 7 done. So what I'd like you to do is work on that, get started as soon as you possibly can. Work on it as much as you can. Now there are 2 portions, as with everything. You've got the lab portion that is by far the longest part, but it's really a good lab for helping you develop the skills to when you have to write a research paper, which you will in the course of your college career. And by being able to learn all the procedures to write that research paper now, you won't have to think about that. You'll have already done it. It'll, even if you forget little parts, you'll know the basics of doing it, and it'll be very, very valuable. The other part is the project. The project is much shorter, but it uses a lot of the skills that you learned in the lab portion. One other thing I need to mention is that there's also a bonus that is an extra credit project that's at the very bottom of the instruction sheet on Lab 7. It's also located at the very bottom of the assignment page in Blackboard. So the bonus can be done anytime up until like the end of July. Keep that in mind. That's an extra 10 points, you know, so don't feel so stressed if you have trouble getting through all of assignment 7, but do make an early start with assignment 7 because it is very long. It's very time, it's not hard, it's just time consuming. So set aside, you know, maybe an hour or 2 for several nights in a row and you'll be able to get through it. Any questions, please send me an email. Send me, you can send me a GChat or a Hangout request at deborah.duke@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I am going to be traveling a bit tomorrow, so I may not be able to respond as quickly tomorrow, but generally I check my email twice a day as always. All right, I hope to hear from you soon. So long.